Today, I'm going to unbox Verdun 1916 Steel Inferno. This is a unique game in that it is got some very evocative art, and it is a World War I game using blocks, but not a block war game. Let's take a look inside, or at least let's look at the back first here. You get an example of the board. There's an example of that art I was mentioning there. Very different kind of art than what you normally might see in a war game. And best for 2 players, playing time 1 to 2 hours, 3 scenarios, 14 and up. This is 97 large size playing cards, a mounted map board, 160 wooden pieces and markers, 1 rule book, 1 playbook, 1 and player aids, 1 punch board markers, and 10 dices, 10 dice. So a low complexity, fast playing game filled with action and suspense, simulates the battle within the historical context of 1916. A card-driven game with the action points and events, illustrated by Jacques Tardy. Game design is by Walter Wojciechowski. I probably butchered that, so apologize up front there. But this won the Charles S. Roberts Award for 2020 for Best War Game Design, or Best War Game. So a lot of people spoke highly of this. In fact, I think I even saw this in an interview with the legendary Mark Herman. I think he actually said that this was one of his favorite games of that year. I think I got that right. So very thick box there. Nice, thick, sturdy box. That art just kind of jumps out at you. Here's the rule book. I think that picture there says a lot. The Great War cannot be made, and any attempt to make it would result in suicide. Wow. Okay. Then we have there's some credits here. There's advertisements in the back. Here are the cards shown. I always start from the back. There's the German cards. Here are the French cards. So the rules are about 27 pages, dual column, but with a lot of illustrations or examples of the cards, at least, throughout. And here's supply, here's onboard tracks. So this doesn't look super complex. You've got some examples in here as well. Plus, this is a smaller book, so don't let the 27 pages scare you off. And it's card-driven, so I think there's going to be action and events, or action points and events. But just that art is just really kind of draws you in, or at least draws me in. And then it uses blocks, but if it's upright, it's fresh. If it's down on side, it's exhausted. It uses blocks in a little bit different way than what we've seen in some of the other games. You got trenches too. Blocks are representing trenches. So that's the rule book there. Here is the playbook. This game is dedicated to all the poor fellows who were killed, wounded, or just participating in this man-made inferno. May our children live in peace now. As I said, the art is really, and the imagery is really stands out. So here's the scenarios. Scenario 1, Scenario 2, Scenario 3, which is the full campaign. And then there's special rules. Here's some optional rules. And here's a full replay of April 1916. So it gives you an example of play. with a fully illustrated example of play, including the cards that are being played. And then you get player's notes, designer notes, and games publishing considerations. And there you have it. And there's the game at start. Here's your startup. That's kind of cool. So that's your playbook. Impressed by both of those. Here's your cards, and they are a little bit bigger. They're not your standard size. They're not quite tarot size, but they are a little bit bigger. We'll get into those. Here's some cylinders. I imagine there's some kind of markers there. Here are the German blocks, and having just stickered what was it? Command and Colors, Samurai Battles, and Napoleon 1815. I'm glad I do not have to apply stickers to these. These are just blocks for the units to represent them on the board. You don't have to sticker them. Thank God. Okay. Then we have, well, at least I hope you don't have to sticker them. Oh, this is a punch board. So you get a little bit of a punch board there and some loose counters in there. I think that's all the counters for the game. Dice, sealed for your protection. Then we've got some event tables. Here's German event tables. And US entry. That's what some of those markers or counters that were in there. So you get 2 of those for, I guess, for each player, or maybe you flip them over and they're on thicker stock there. Then you get the mounted board. Let's take a look at that. We'll save the best for last, which is the cards. At least that's my opinion. Yours may differ. Ooh, good sized board here. Good sized mounted board. Ooh, I'm not going to have enough room. I'm going to put it sideways here. There we go. You might have to pop up a little bit to see that a little bit more. There we go. There is the board. Nicely done. It's mounted, lays flat. You have a lot of tracks here. Here's a victory point tracks. Here's rounds, front morale. Then you've got turns over here. Trenches, reserve. See over here, trenches, reserve for each side, the French and the Germans. Then you have an air superiority track here as well. You have some notations on here with, there's numbers in each one of these, and then there are some triangles and some red squares, and then some stars and double stars. Those might be maybe victory point objectives, maybe. And here's a red square in a triangle. So interesting. Board looks nice. A little dark, but I think that also kind of represents the period a little bit. I mean, the World War I in this battle. Let's take a look at the French cards first here. And these are sealed. Oh, there we go. Not the thickest cards, but not paper thin. They're not bad. All the similar backs for the French. Let's take a look at the art on here. Look at that. That's barrage. Those look. There are some different imagery on the barrages. Not sure what all these numbers mean down here, but I will learn that. As I said, the art is really a lot of barrages there. I said, the art is, to me, I really like the art. Here's air support, U.S. diplomacy. I think that's a card that deals with bringing the United States into the battle. So you have a mix of actual like photos with illustrations, and then some propaganda pieces from the time. I don't know, I like it. I could spend all day going through that. Let's go through the Germans now. Again, all the same backs there. And it has several barrage, but it's different. There's different images on there. So interested in getting into this game. Again, art is, the cards look different than your typical card-driven game. The art is different. The use of blocks is a little different than what we normally see for, especially for a block game, but for, you know, any war game for that matter. You know, it's got a mounted board, so you're getting wooden blocks, mounted board, and very interestingly illustrated cards. So there's a lot to unpack here, and a lot to, wow. There's the Red Baron. So there's a lot to like here. I can see why this got the board game of the year. It's just different. I like to see how it plays. Those are probably control markers or area control markers. You got the German and the French there. Then this is the U.S., bringing U.S. in markers. Blocks and blocks that you don't have to sticker, which is nice. Dice. And you have your playbook and your rule book and a couple of player aids here. Whoops. That are, you know, the same, but for each of the players. And then the mounted board, and of course the box and a lid. That is what you get in a box of Verdun 1916 Steel Inferno. I'm really looking forward to getting this to the table and seeing how it plays. It looks, as I said, it looks very interesting. And looks different than the standard fare for this period and for wargaming in general. So it got the Charles Roberts, so somebody's had to have played it and liked it. So like to see your thoughts and comments on this. What do you all think about this game? Is this truly as good as it looks? At least in my opinion, I think it looks very good. Is this what do you think about this game and its play, or its components for that matter? Love to hear your thoughts and see a dialogue started. So anyway, that's what I have for you today. Thanks for stopping by. I always really appreciate that. You don't know how much. And here's to you having a great rest of your day, evening, morning, whatever time it is, whenever you're watching this. Thanks, and have a good one. Thanks for watching.